Here's something you probably never think about. For every minute you spend reading or listening to content, you're trading your time for someone else's effort. And what if I told you that 5 hours of your time could give you access to 15 years of someone else's best ideas, failures, and breakthroughs? In his Maximum Brain Leverage essay in Forbes, Stephen Kotler laid out a really striking what he called exchange rate between the time you invest in the intellectual value you receive from different mediums. He gives three very illustrative examples. First, a blog post. Let's say it takes you about 3 minutes of your time to read, and behind it, the author probably spent a couple days researching and writing. So you're trading 3 minutes for 3 days of someone else's effort, which is a pretty good deal. Now, take a long magazine article, maybe 20 minutes of reading, but the author might have spent a month or two reporting, interviewing, writing, and revising. So again, you get months of expertise for less than half an hour of your time. So let's bring it a little bit closer to home. Even a podcast like this one, what you're hearing might take you 30 minutes to listen to, but on my end, between prep, recording, editing, and production, it's usually at least 7 to 8 hours of teamwork to bring you that short burst of value. Now, here's where it gets wild. A book. A serious book is often 10 to 15 years of the author's best ideas, experiments, failures, lessons, and breakthrough, condensed into 5 hours of reading. That's thousands of days of efforts handed to you in a single neat package. And that's the point. The return on your time is exponential. Blogs are good, articles are better, but books are where you get the biggest leverage for your time. And that's exactly why I wrote Elite Performance. So if you've been finding value here on the podcast, just imagine what you'll get when you dive into the book. It's the full system, refined over years, all laid out for you in a systematic process. So if you're serious about taking your next step, downloading the book is the single best return on your time you could make today. So there's some bad news and good news. The good news is that on top of all the value you get from the book, we're also running a massive giveaway. We're giving away over $50,000 in performance coaching packages. We have never done anything like this. We're probably never going to do it again. And entering is super simple. All you need to do is buy a copy of the book, take a screenshot of your Amazon receipt, and follow the link to the free coaching raffle in the show notes below, which explains exactly how to join the raffle. So this means that you could win $50,000 worth of coaching directly with me for the cost of a cup of coffee. And this isn't fake value. These are invoices that my clients actually pay on a consistent basis. Now, the bad news is that as your podcast listener, the Audible version is not available yet. However, the good news on top of that is that the raffle is already open, but it ends on October 20th. So that means you want to enter as soon as possible so you have time to complete extra bonus challenges, earn extra raffle tickets, and maximize your chances of winning. Now, I understand that if you're listening to this, you probably prefer consuming your content in audio form. So the really great news is that on October 8th and 9th, the ebook is going to be completely free on Amazon. And you can find the link in the show notes below. So you can punch in your entry into the $50,000 worth of performance coaching raffle with me personally for absolutely no money. Then once the Audible version is released, you will also be able to download that and listening to it in the gym, on the go, in the car, or wherever you like. Now, aside from that, there was some cool stuff I wanted to share is that this book has only been out for less than a week, and some of the early reviews have been amazing and really rewarding on a personal level. When you put a project like this out into the wild, you really never know what you're going to get, and it's been really cool to see what people have had to say. Andre Lugo shared that this is a book I have been looking forward to reading for some time, and it did not disappoint. I've listened to Itamar's podcast for several years now, and through this process, you'll uncover and eliminate performance-limiting beliefs and then map actions geared to achieving a seasonal focus using the most direct path for you. This book helps you get in the zone of peak performance without excessive pressure or complacency. Or John Boggs. John said Itamar's insights and real-world applications in this book were powerful and incredibly useful. You see, I'm used to the extraordinary info that he freely shares, but this, it takes it to the next level. And again, John makes the point here, having listened to all the podcasts and so on, how much effort we put into this book to make it as clear as possible and as precise as possible for you guys. So again, if you have ever found any value in any of these podcasts, you'd be doing yourself a giant and illogical disservice by not getting the book. We've never put so much effort into a project as this book. And again, if you found any value from anything so far, you would just be doing yourself a disservice by not getting it. Or from Chris Fraser. Chris Fraser said, Itamar offers so much value in such an easy and practical read. The question on page 85 alone will pay off this investment 100 times over. Or Paul, who's also an Arena alum, said, the best framework I've ever read on elite performance. This is hands down the best book I've ever read. What sets it apart is how genuinely actionable it is. No vague platitudes or theoretical fluff, just practical frameworks you can implement immediately. So to summarize, if you've ever gotten value from our content, imagine how much more value you'll get from something we've invested at least 1,000 times more time, resources, and energy into. That's what this book represents for you. As a reminder, the Audible version will be released later this month. However, if you want to enter the raffle now, you can purchase the ebook version. And on October 8th and 9th, it will be completely free on Amazon, and you can find the link to get it below. And 3, we are also giving away more than $50,000 worth of performance coaching. And again, this is not a marketing gimmick with made up value. These are the same invoices my one-on-one clients consistently pay. So if you've ever considered working together, this raffle is the best opportunity you'll get to work for free and really get a lot of value. So here's what to do. Click the links below, grab your copy of the book, and enter the raffle. And once again, a huge thank you to everyone who has supported the book so far and left such positive reviews. On a personal level, it really means a lot, and I deeply appreciate it. All right, guys, so go sign up for the raffle today. Get your chance to win $50,000 worth of performance coaching, and I look forward to helping you win big.